You mean that's in the Bible? Why, yes, it is. Welcome to another installment in the Over My Shoulder Bible Study series. These brief videos are designed to help us dig a bit more into the text that forms the basis of the sermon that I preach each Sunday here with the Missouri Street Church of Christ in Baytown, Texas. The sermon series I'm preaching right now is entitled One, and that stands for one sermon from each book of the Bible. And this Sunday, the 12th of July, we find ourselves in the letter of Jude. Now, Jude is a very short work, but it is concentrated with fascinating material, not the least of which is a direct quote from a biblical figure named Enoch. You can read about him back in Genesis 5, ever so briefly, and not this quote. So what's the deal? Well, the Bible feels free to quote from material outside of itself, often for illustrative purposes, as is the case here. Just as a preacher preaching a sermon might quote from a movie or from Abraham Lincoln to illustrate a point. Well, what is Enoch's quotation from? Well, it's from a work that we know today as First Enoch, and it is a part of a genre or kind of literature known today as the pseudepigrapha. That's a big word. What does that mean? It means writings that were attributed to someone, but it's questionable whether that someone actually did the writing of them. They are Jewish writings, for the most part, that appeared between about 300 BC on up to about 200 AD. In other words, 3 centuries before the time of Christ and on up to 2 centuries following. Now, naturally, that's a half a millennium of time, so we wouldn't be surprised that there's a wide variety of material and expression in the pseudepigraphal writings. And what makes up the pseudepigrapha? Well, this is an interesting little work. It's dated now, Baker's Handbook of Bible Lists, but still extremely helpful. And there you'll find a listing of quotations and allusions to the pseudepigrapha in the New Testament. You'll notice a number of the names of pseudepigraphal works, and you immediately note that First Enoch finds greatest reference in the New Testament, whether it's in the Gospels like Luke, or Paul's writings like in Colossians, or anonymous works like Hebrews, or even John, or as we are right here in Jude, verse 14 and 15 of Jude. Now, First Enoch is not the only work that's in the pseudepigrapha that's referenced in Jude. Back in Jude 9, there was a reference to a work known as the Assumption of Moses. You'll also see a portion of this work referred to as the Testament of Moses, if you do some reading on it. And while we're talking about doing some reading on this pseudepigrapha, that's our homework for today. I would encourage you to go online to Bible Gateway and look under References. When you do so, you'll find an entry for encyclopedias, and click on Encyclopedia of the Bible and look up pseudepigrapha. You'll learn more about what that means, what those works are like, and what difference it makes to Bible study. Grace and peace be with you.